Hey guys, Jim here with Creative Play and Podcast Network, and here we are again in August. It is now hashtag RPGaDay again for its 8th year. God, it's been so long. Again, we're joining in with all the other tabletop gamers out there to get creative and use the prompts now for RPGaDay 2021 to inspire you guys to all write, vlog, blog, draw cool pictures. This year they're asking for whatever you do. So we are going to go ahead and start out with the next day. All right, guys, here we go.
Hi, this is Kelly, aka Trixie from Ragnarok and Roll, assigned to Ragnarok Story, and Tilda Wimblewick from D&D Journey of the 5th Edition. First off, I would just like to say thank you to everyone for listening to our varied adventures, as well as for rating us on iTunes and RPGpodcast.com. If you haven't rated us yet, we would greatly appreciate it if you could. And if you're looking for more ways to support our efforts, we are now on Patreon, a great site where you can help us continue making more podcasts, as well as some special surprises for our patrons. If you can, please look us up at www.patreon.com/cppn. Every little bit helps. And again, thank you for listening.
Hey guys, welcome back to Creative Play and Podcast Network. It is Saturday, August the 21st. And for simplicity's sake, I'll keep it brief and say, here's Jim and
Kelly.
So the word of the day is simplicity or challenge or fear or motive.
Well, when I hear simplicity, I think of the patterns. That's the first thing I think of. Oh, simplicity. What new costume patterns do they have? So I guess that can be related back to RPG if you LARP, because then, you can make costumes from them.
The simplicity line of patterns, yes.
Exactly. I definitely, that's what I think of when I hear the word simplicity. But, let's see, let me get an 8-sided out, and so we can roll it. Get my little mini 8-sided. All right, put the others away, and we have rolled challenge.
Ooh.
So the challenge for challenge is to come up with something for challenge.
Or for simplicity's sake, accept the challenge to face your fear and have a good motive. Getting that out of the way early.
Well, for challenge, that's everything. There has to be a certain amount of challenge when you're playing. Otherwise, if it's too easy, then it's not as rewarding, so to speak. You don't get the no shit, there we were moment. And this is what happened. If it's just way too easy, then you don't get that kind of time. That's why you want it challenging. Of course, you don't want Tomb of Annihilation, okay? Where, I'm sorry, everything is there literally just to instantaneously kill you. No, you want challenge, not impossibility. I'm going to throw that out there.
I will gladly accept that. I do like back in 3.5 or 4th edition when they had, a lot of the Dungeon Master, the Dragon issues, how they tried to say for challenges that you should balance it as a GM, where you should have like 2 easy fights, 2 medium fights that are basically a fair fight. Either way it could go depending on the dice. 1 hard fight and then 1 deadly fight. That way for the, campaign session, that would be like the next, 7 fights for your game. If you plan it out with that type of setup, you can figure out that it'll deplete the resources, give them a bit of a challenge, and make life easier for you so you're not trying to balance everything. So that way there's some easy fights there, and it's up to you to mix them around so you can put them in where they need to be. It could be the easy fight is the first fight. Like if you watch any movies or books
where the adventure party gets into the bonding group session, where they team up as a team because they have a common enemy that's really easy to beat, so they get all cocky. Then you throw in the medium fight next, so that way they get their noses bloodied a bit, but they still come out on an end. And then it's all free for all of what you put in what order.
Good point.
Because there's nothing more fun as a GM if you throw the big fight before the big bad evil guy, and they realize that the deadly fight was the one before that they just barely survived, as they're expecting it to get worse right into the big bad evil. And he's totally like, oh crap, you killed my best guardians. I am on my own to defend myself. And it's only a hard fight, not a deadly fight. Which of course that does kind of go back to 3 and 3.5 and 4, where the challenge rating, see what it did there.
Mm-hmm.
The challenge rating of creatures was a little more balanced and honest. Everybody complains in 5th edition that the CR system is broken from a game master point of view. You can totally, have your players fight an equal challenge and they can just mop through it. Of course, then again, that comes also to the GM using all of the monster's abilities, using good terrain for a fight. Do you throw the players at a disadvantage in terrain? Do you give the bad guys advantage for the terrain? That's totally one of those things of it's up to the GM to spice things up, You can totally add extra things to the scenes, like, oh, there's a clay pot full of green green jelly, or, you have some explosive things in the area that they can shoot arrows and blow up and get the group moving. Challenge is more than just a fight. Of course, now that we've gotten complicated with challenge, I'll go with simplicity. As a GM and a player, try to keep it simple. As a GM, don't overplan. If you overplan, you're going to totally be stressing and paying the check twice for the work you're going to be getting out of it. Don't spend 3 or 4 nights stressing about the game, working yourself up into a bit of an anxiety. Try to just keep it simple. Have a few good fights, a few good locations, and a few good NPCs, and pretty much ad-lib with your players. You can have more fun in a game where you're just ad-libbing with a couple postcards full of information on different NPCs and fights than if you were to spend weeks planning a meta dungeon that the group will totally destroy the concept within 5 minutes of gameplay. I mean, even for the one-shot games I have tomorrow, I've got a simple goal, a simple NPC with a simple background. Basically, I just wrote down a actor from a movie, and that's my inspiration for that NPC, I'll totally admit, for Iron Kingdoms, the guy hiring the group is totally Barbossa. Only he's Barbossa in charge of the City Watch, the scuzziest port city of scum and villainy you've ever seen. And again, that's showing the simplicity, because if I say place of scum and villainy and a port city, and I just do the Barbossa voice, people will connect the dots.
That's true.
And the mission's really simple. It's just a go rescue the princess mission.
Well,
how is that going to get complicated? Oh, wait, that's what you put the players in for.
It may sound simple, but it most likely will not be that simple. No plan survives contact with the enemy.
Or the player character, as the case may be.
Yeah.
And on the player side of simplicity, go with the military acronym of keep it simple, stupid. When it comes to your class, a lot of players have issues with analysis paralysis where they don't know what to do next because they don't want to fuck up. I always tell every player, go over your character sheet. But when all is said and done, keep it simple if you have to. If you're a fighter, hit it with whatever you have in your hand, because that's what your job is to do. Get up there in front and just whack away at stuff. If you're a ranged class, like a sorcerer or a ranger, stand back and do your basic attack. If worse comes to worse, if you're a spellcaster, you've got cantrips, which are totally freebies, so you can cast those all day long. So if nothing else, at the very least, cast a cantrip. It doesn't have to be one of your big whopping spells if you're afraid of burning spell slots, because you'd be amazed how many people will hold back until it's too late because they don't want to burn that spell slot.
Oh,
But
yeah. Well, I play a lot of clerics, so you really do sometimes want to hold on to them because of in case you need that heal. But still, I mean, you have to find the balance.
Yep. I mean, and I joke that the other night, if we had one game where the big bad, just because he was so big bad and did horrible things. I mean, don't mind you, he massacred like 3 NPCs and 2 of the players. But if the group would have been bold and just simply been, aggressive on him, he scared the crap out of them with only 3 hit points. Until somebody finally decided to turn around and fight, because he kept pushing the assault. He wasn't going to give up because, well, he already killed half the party. So he was going to totally go for more. But then somebody decided to just turn around and shoot. I got a bow. Why ain't I shooting him? Yes, why aren't you shooting him since you can outpace him? Because, my bad guy kept it simple. If you ran faster, he double moved to get in front of you for an attack of opportunity. Doesn't have to always be the regular attack that you go for. Sometimes the simple attack of opportunity setup is good enough to win the day.
And it will actually, do damage. Sometimes that's all you need.
Mm-hmm. And even though your healer doesn't have that big, great heals, you'd be surprised how just any player running up with medicine, doing a medicine check to stabilize a dying friend, can totally save the day. I'm just going to throw that one out there.
Mm-hmm.
You can totally save the day just by using regular, simple skills. It doesn't have to be anything complicated.
Yeah, but my opinion, I think clerics should have the spare the dying cantrip as one of theirs, automatically, because
it is handy. It's super handy, and it keeps
it doesn't
people coming.
waste one of those valuable slots. If you use the heal to stabilize them, then it's sort of like a waste of heal. When if you could just stabilize them with the cantrip, then you can heal them. With that valuable spell slot.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it's meant to be used too. So it's one of those of simple tactics. A lot of folks forget the basic tactics in D&D. Like in one of the fights, we had during this week, somebody could have really easily just shoved somebody off, but they forgot that shove is a basic attack. That you can push somebody back 5 feet, and if they're near a ledge, well, sucks to be them. That can end a fight quick. Or grapple. If you want to be the guy who stands there and keeps the bad guy busy while your friends escape, grapple is a great way of doing that. Because, it's simple tactics that can help you guys out of, rough spots. And of course, as our ranger found in Goblins of Conquest, you should totally leave your dog to fight for you. Granted, your wolf will not be replaced if it's massacred, but you should leave the wolf to cover you while you run.
Aww.
Especially since she did discover as a goblin, with your move, your bonus action to dash, you have more movement speed than while riding on a wolf. Because the wolf only has that 50-foot run speed. You can get 60 feet if you do a bonus action dash.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. It just shows how annoying goblins are, that they're running around crazy everywhere. And again, a good simple race, the goblin. They're already half rogue, it's great.
I think more than half.
There's nothing better than getting that free hide, dash, or disengage just for being a little guy. And then they cut you. And don't be afraid to find a good motive for your character. The 6-fingered man killed my father. Prepare to die. So
and sometimes,
else?
It's good to check what your motive is. So, like, okay, having a bad day. you might sort of, do something when you're in character that you couldn't do in real life. And, I really should have checked that motive first. And then instead of stabbing somebody in the back. Because they pissed me off.
Yeah,
Don't
sometimes.
game angry.
Yeah, sometimes you should check your motive before you take that action. That is true.
Yeah.
For simplicity's sake, don't overcomplicate things. But so-and-so went out to murder somebody just because she had a bad day out of character. Oh, well, I
No,
guess we're going
he
to have to
just
deal with it.
pissed me off in game when I was already cranky. And so, stab him in the back.
It's almost like that character was meant to antagonize.
Well, he did a really good job about that.
Especially since he was faking being a prince.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that really pissed
So,
her.
of course, you have to be arrogant and asinine if you're pretending to be a prince. But for simplicity's sake, we should probably call it there, huh?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, well, we'll not challenge our fears to motivate ourselves to talk some more. And we'll be back with you guys tomorrow on Sunday for Substitute. That's going to be a hard one. I will see your reality and substitute my own in its place. That's going to be hard.
Yeah.
But we are almost officially 3/4 of the way through the month. Wow, where's August gone?
I know.
It went the way of July.
It blinked and it was gone.
Yep. Alrighty, guys, so we will wrap it up there and see you tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to the Creative Play and Podcast Network. And feel free to enjoy our other shows, such as D&D Journey of the 5th Edition and Scion Ragnarok and Roll, a Scion hero to Ragnarok story. Thank you for listening.